Hello everyone, my name is Muthelo from the University of Limpopo in the Faculty of Health Sciences in South Africa. I'm currently studying towards PhD, doing data analysis, and I'm also a lecturer at the University of Limpopo. I should say that I'm excited to share the results of the study that I did on women's health at the workplace with you. I'm also excited to be part of the 15th Global Women's Health, Pediatric and Nursing Summit. The title of the study is Comprehensive Women's Health Services at Beverage-Producing Industry of Limpopo, South Africa, Women's Perspective. My presentation will cover the following topics: background of the study, motivation and rationale for the study, purpose of the study, methodology, results, conclusion, and acknowledgement. As women, we play multi-role, which includes being a mother, being a wife, being a grandmother, doing household, and other activities. Except that we also work, and at workplace, women remain highly vulnerable to numerous risks, which include labor rights violations, violence and harassment, and reproductive health risks. Recently, there are many numerous changes that were done, because now women occupy positions in the industries or in the mining industry or any industries that are risky. However, though the change is significant, there is still a gap within the industry's health policies and practices that are not keeping up with the change in order to accommodate the influx of women's health issues within the industries. The availability of the comprehensive services remains the only hope for these women, yet very little is known about their perspective. Globally, there's been a fundamental change of gender makeup in the industries, with more women into the workforce. In South Africa, there are several laws and improvements in regulation for ensuring the protection of women at workplace. And then the motivation and the rationale for doing this study. The study was conducted by academics who accompany learners to different occupational health industries for experiential learning. During the accompaniment, they have observed that though women are faced with many challenges, which include reproductive health issues, sexual abuse, exposure to extreme cold, temperatures or heat, exposure to toxic chemicals, cancer, genital infection, and screening services. Though the Occupational Health Act makes it a mandatory that the health of employees become a priority, the Act seems to have neglected the women's health specific services, which then makes it not to be aligned with the developmental goals. The purpose of this study was to determine the experiences of women regarding the availability of comprehensive women's health services in the industries of Limpopo, South Africa. The research question was, what are the comprehensive health services that are available at workplace to specifically address women's health? The study setting, this study was conducted at two beverages producing industry which are situated in the local municipality. The municipality serves as the economic hub for the province and has the highest population density in the Capricorn district. The selected industry employs both women and men, making it relevant to this study. This was a qualitative study applying exploratory and descriptive design. And then the qualitative data sources. The population includes all women working in the selected beverages manufacturing industries. The sampling, purposive and convenience non-probability sampling was done to select 13 women. The women were selected until data saturated at the participants number 13 where no information emerged. So the sample size was 13 women, which was determined by data saturation. Data was collected by the primary researcher using a semi-structured one-on-one interviews. It was conducted over a period of 1 month using a voice recorder to capture the proceedings of the interviews. Data analysis was done using thematic analysis, and then the researcher listened to the voice recording and read through all the transcriptions and then grouped them together, and then themes and sub-themes emerged. How did we ensure trustworthiness of the study? We ensured credibility by investing sufficient time in the research field, which was the two selected industries, to become familiar with the setting and the context. And this was also done to get rich information through prolonged engagement with the women who are working there. Dependability was ensured through an audit trail which was done by the core researchers, wherein the researcher had to send the recording, the primary researcher has to send the recording, the transcriptions, so that they can listen. And thereafter, there was a meeting to agree on the themes and the sub-themes and the results of the study. Transferability was ensured through explanation of the research processes from data collection context to the context of the study and to the production of the final results or the themes and the sub-themes. Confirmability was ensured through member checking with the study participants, which was conducted after each and every interview. The researcher had to go back with the transcripts and also to ask follow-up questions to ensure confirmability. And then now I'm going to present the themes and the sub-themes which emerged from the results. Theme 1 was the diverse experiences related to the available women's health services. Under these sub-themes, the following sub-themes emerged. Description of the diverse measures in dealing with women's health. In this theme, In this sub-theme, the participants describe that there are measures that are being done, such as doing a periodic medical examination and monitoring their chronic diseases. These measures are done by this industry to ensure their health and protect their health as part of the health and safety. And then the next sub-theme was lack of involvement of women in women's health policy and procedure development. In these sub-themes, the participants raised a concern that though there are policies in the industries, health and safety policies, they are not represented when these policies are formulated, because most of the time the unions are the ones who represent the employees, wherein the most of these representative of the unions are men. So this makes the women's health issues to be neglected because they don't have a chance to voice their concern during the formulation of the policies. And then the next thing is about explanation of dissatisfaction regarding the current women's health services provided. They have described that though there are health services, these two industries which were selected have an on-site occupational health clinics. But however, this on-site occupational health clinics covers the general health of the employees. There are no specific health services which are meant for women. And as we have noticed during the introduction, that women have many challenges, including the reproductives and the health. And then again, women and men are not the same. So they've raised the concern that they are dissatisfied because things like the screening of pap smear of cervical cancer, they teach them on health promotion, on how to prevent that, but they are not providing the services like the screening and other services, such as like women who are breastfeeding, the breast bank wherein they can go and bank the milk, and other issues which are specifically like women who are menstruating. How are they accommodated? Our next theme, knowledge related to women's health services. In this theme, the first sub-theme is description of existing knowledge regarding the concept of women's health. The participants seem to have knowledge, are knowledgeable on the uh, women's health issues. Like in these sub-themes, they've described that they know that they have to protect themselves, like sexual health, they have to condomize, they have to be screened for chronic diseases, they have to be screened for cervical cancers, and then they know that there is menopause, which is a normal process of aging. So they know, they have this knowledge. And then the next sub-theme is about the description of existing knowledge related to Basic Employment Act on different leave provision. They have described that they know they are being given this knowledge through health education, through the union, through the notices, that should they become pregnant, they should report to the employer, they should report to the clinic, and then they are being taken from the high risk area to area where they are not risk, and they are being given 4 months leave, maternity leave. Our next sub-theme is about existing limited knowledge regarding women's health specific service. Though they know that there is cancer, there is menopause, there is HIV. However, the services to accommodate this are not available. In the next theme, descriptions of practice related to women's health services. The first sub-theme is description of diverse measures addressing women violence. Participants describe that in both industries, their industries are very strict with violence at workplace. Should it be reported, there is a process of disciplinary hearing, and the employee might end up being dismissed. Existence of health hazards that women are exposed to. Women have explained that there are health hazards that they are being exposed to at work. Like others have described that they are working in the cold areas where they are exposed to extreme cold. Others have explained that they are working with chemicals. Most of these women, some of them were cleaners, where they are working with dangerous chemicals in which they can inhale, in which they can be absorbed. Again, some of the floor areas are slippery. Some of them they are working with dust. Some of them they are working with bottles. The bottles are cracked sometimes, and they have cuts and they get injured. The next sub-theme is about dissatisfaction versus satisfaction of the existing health awareness campaign for women's health. They did mention that the only campaigns which are done is during the Women's Month, which is once a year. So they've raised a concern that it could have been better if these campaigns are done on continuous basis, because to them it's an opportunity to learn, it's an opportunity to know about this risk that as women we are exposed to. And then this study was approved by the permission was obtained from the University of Limpopo Ethics Committee, TREC number 264/2019. And the two selected industry approved the study to be conducted. Information was provided to the participants on the nature of the demand it makes on them. The participants were also informed about their rights to decide to terminate their participation at any stage, even if they agree to participate. Those who agreed to participate in the study were requested to sign the consent form. The protection of the identity of participants was ensured by using numbers instead of names during the data collection and during publication of the results. In conclusion, the authors conclude that women working in industries are faced with challenges regarding obtaining comprehensive reproductive women's health services. For instance, women express dissatisfaction in the industries regarding the provided general health and primary health services that have limited women's health specific services. Women are exposed to health hazards such as burns, burns, injuries, inhalation, noise, slippery floors, chemicals that are used for production in the industry. Therefore, we conclude that there are non-comprehensive health services for women in the selected beverage producing industry. Limitation of the study. This study was out of 5 identified food beverages manufacturing industries in Limpopo, only 2 beverage manufacturing industries gave consent for participation in the study. This affected the sample size of the study. Despite not having data from other industry, the study is still important, even though the results will not be generated to other industries. We recommend the following. First, recommendation for practice. The industries need to prioritize women's health, more specifically that women's health program services in the industry reduce absenteeism, turnover, and increase productivity, and more importantly, the lifespan. Education, recommendation for education. The awareness campaign should be done by annual while prioritizing women's health services such as antenatal services for pregnant women, pap smear test, breast and cervical cancer screening, counseling services, and supply to feminine products while at the industry. Recommendation for research. Studies are recommended to generalize the findings and design comprehensive women's health services at beverage-producing industry. We also recommended an improvement on the awareness campaign. The acknowledgement. The authors thanks the management of the 2 selected beverage-producing industries, permitting the researchers to conduct the study, the occupational health nurse practitioners, and all the women who participated in the study are acknowledged to provide information related to women's health services. I thank you. Bye. Thank you.